Hello, love. Hey there. This is Lynn, Dream Girl Writer, coming to you today with a message about how we can imagine, implement, and inspire ourselves and others. I had an experience yesterday at my local print shop that inspired this video. I have gone there quite often to get things printed out because I find it's better to just rely on them instead of having my own printer. They can do a much better job. I was printing out these lovely pictures that come from the Dream Arc a program of the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. And the Dream Arc is a very unique approach to dreaming, both in waking and sleeping life. And they have an animal codex that has these great pictures of the different animals, and it's a way into contemplating things about you, your life, your genetic code, and it's very effective. And so I was going to make a gift for a friend by printing out all of the animals, pictures of the animal codex, and they're very lovely. And then I was also printing something from a wonderful book that I have had for many years and bought when my children were young and used it as a resource for singing all of the nursery rhymes and folk songs. And it's just an incredible resource. I have the book right here. It's called Go In and Out the Window. It's by the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And it has wonderful, all of these really exquisite and now almost forgotten folk songs and tunes from our American past. And it's, you can't see it too well with this background, but it has them paired up with works of art. And then it has a little story for each song about the origin of the songs and about the pictures that go with them. Well, that's a long story to the background of what happened yesterday at the print shop. And that is that this particular time, I've been there many times before, but this particular time I had to really interact with one of the employees to be able to print these things out the way I wanted and also to make a PDF of them so I could have it for future reference to print out at another time. And in doing so, I spent about 25 minutes in the store with the employee and his boss, who would have to check in with us from time to time to solve some technical snafus. And so it was, I had a chance to really observe the culture of the place more so than I ever had before. And one of the things that struck me was that these are beautiful pictures. There was the beautiful book that I was printing from, that he was the employee that was helping me with this, was handling and looking at the pictures. And his boss, when she came, she also was, aware of what I was printing out. And they never made one mention of the loveliness of these pictures or the uniqueness of this book and how it used the art and the music and put together. And it's a hard copy book, and it's very well presented. It's like a coffee table book, if you will. And certainly as a musician, it had some of the best known songs of my youth that were only sung by our mothers sometimes or our elementary school teachers, and then we forgot all about them. So it's a treasure, really. Neither of the employees said anything about that. And I noticed that I've been there many times before, as I said, and I've always gotten good customer service. These people are really good about getting the job done. But I noticed that as the customers came and went, as soon as the young people who were employees there finished with the task at hand, they would go right to their phones and start scrolling down into their phones. And it just struck me at how much we have lost in our culture, of how much of that personal touch, that inquiry, that friendliness of, well, what is this book about? I've never seen this book. What are you using this for? What are you printing this out for? And without being nosy, I mean, sometimes we object to people kind of getting into our business. But, I was standing there for 20 minutes. I had brought this to a public place. So obviously it wasn't something all that private to me, but nobody noticed how beautiful the pictures were. Nobody noticed the unique quality of this book and how lovely it was, and what, just a tangible expression of music and art so well. And I just thought, you know, it's very sad to me sometimes, and also very revealing, and also makes me want to bring this into the world more. I labeled this video as imagine, implement, and inspire. And for good reason. It's because that's what I think we have lost in the world. We have lost a lot of the magical qualities that we, in which, that inspire us to see the world through the eyes of a child, through the joy and playfulness and inquiry of a child, curiosity. Why was nobody curious about what's being printed out? And granted, they work in a print shop, so they see all kinds of different things. But how about if the culture of the shop was such that the employees had creative things to do in between the customers, and that it wasn't just about business as usual and do this, perform this task for the customer, and then we're done, we're going back into our own world. How about if the culture in the business itself was one of just creativity, and that the employees would have things to do. They would always be working on some kind of project or innovation, or their voices and who they were and what they brought to the team, rather than just being workers who did a job. If they were allowed or encouraged to invoke their own personality into the workplace, how much richer and more personable that would be, and how many more people it would attract as a business. Because it's like, you go to the print shop and you have these wonderful conversations about what you do or what they do or what they know. If an employee had questioned about that book, it might have been because they were interested in music or art, and they loved the idea of what was conveyed in that book, and maybe that would inspire them to write their own book, that sort of thing. Just kind of like the imagination part. Einstein said that imagination was more important than knowledge, and I fully relate to that, both from a musical background and teacher background, as well as just a personal background. It's like, can we imagine a better world for ourselves? Can we imagine a world where everything is connected, where when we go out into nature, we're inspired about things in our relationships, where when we see a beautiful work of art or hear a lovely piece of music or see someone who is conveying their unique and individual personality or artistic gift, that we acknowledge it and we appreciate it and we take it home with us and we tell our family about it. And so I've gotten off on a little bit of a tangent here, but my real intent here in bringing this message to you is to just give that a try in your world. Try to shift your perspective a little bit, at least maybe once a day if you can, to where you see through the eyes of a child, where you see through the joy of your heart, where you expect the best of people and you bring your best self out into the world, where you smile at people you pass by, where you put the phone down and, at least while you walk, for God's sakes. But you also treasure every interaction you have with another human being. And that's where the implementation part comes in. It's like, imagine a better world where we're all kind of always connecting and sharing and embracing each other in our own unique ways. And then we implement that in our actions. So when we put forth anything in the world, even if we're just going to a print shop with a book, a lovely book that we want some of it to be copied, we have, we can inspire someone in that shop to share the love of that book with us, to be inspired by maybe something, a gift that they have, to take their gift to a new level because of what you have brought into their lives. And just to be open to that, to be open to the new, to be open to the wonderful, the magical, the mystical. This life offers us so many opportunities to see, feel, touch, taste, and experience beauty and wisdom and wonder. And we let them pass by us so much. And I'm guilty of this as much as anybody, or maybe, in the past I have been. And I'm really trying to bring more of it into my life. More wonder, more magic, more inclusivity, more embracing of the people around me. We're all in this together. And why not be open about it and vulnerable to people's opinions, and like children, who will sometime come up and say to you, you have a funny mole on your face, you have a funny hat, why are you wearing that? And and take that in as like, ooh, they want to connect with me, to try and let go of our separation and embrace our inclusivity, our culture as a human race, regardless of our size, shape, age, or gender, to just connect with each other more, bring more magic into each other's lives, imagine, implement, and finally inspire. Thank you for listening.